Baltimore Ravens have just released star safety Earl Thomas for personal conduct that has adversely affected the team. Now, this came a couple of days after Earl Thomas got into altercation with other Baltimore Ravens safety Chuck Clark. And the way that the Ravens have got ahead of this situation and handled this situation has been really quick and really fast. And this is leading me to believe that this isn't the first time something has kind of happened with Earl Thomas and another teammate. Like, this leads me to believe, and I'm not saying has happened or anything like that. This is just my personal thoughts. I think that Earl Thomas has some more situations that have went down in Baltimore that we don't really know about. And like I said, this is just an assumption. This hasn't been leaked by anybody or it hasn't been reported. This is just an opinion of mine, because you got to think. Fights in training camp between teammates are really common because, sometimes things get heated, heat of the moment. And, sometimes the teammates end up throwing the things, man, throwing them hands, going a couple of rounds. So, look, fights in training camp between teammates are not really all that rare. Like, it happens really commonly. So, the fact that they released him because of this leads me to believe that it was more that went on behind the scenes. And also, when you think about this, a couple of days ago, yesterday, when it was reported that Earl Thomas may be released, it was actually some reports saying that, the team leaders on the Ravens roster felt it would be better if the Ravens would to part ways with Earl Thomas. So, I think that is more to the story than we are, getting from everybody. I think it's some more things that have went on behind the scenes with Earl Thomas, and not just this incident. Maybe he has some other incidents as well. And I'm not saying any of this is true. This is just an assumption I have because, look, I think it's really weird to cut somebody just because of a fight that they had with a teammate, especially a guy like Earl Thomas, man. Like, this is supposed to be a veteran guy in your locker room. This is supposed to be a veteran leader, man. So I know that he got into a little bit of an altercation with Chuck Clark, but, it's not really uncommon to see fights in training camp amongst teammates. We actually see it every year, man. So, the fact that they got rid of him for safety detrimental to the team, I'm just going to report now, that means that they can void his $10 million guaranteed. So I don't really know if Earl Thomas is going to try to appeal that or whatnot, because you know how these players are when it comes to money. But, you got Deshaun Elliott who can step in. And now if you are a Ravens fan, you've been subscribed to the channel, you guys will know that I've been really high on Deshaun Elliott for the last couple of seasons. Only reason why we actually haven't got to see him play all that much is because most of the time he ends up getting injured. So I'm really excited to see Deshaun Elliott this year. He should be the guy who steps in and replaces Earl Thomas. It also was some reports yesterday that came out that said that when the teammates, came together and the leaders of the team basically said, they'll be comfortable if they parted ways with Earl Thomas. They also said that they like veteran safety Tony Jefferson as well. So maybe they bring back in Tony Jefferson or whatnot. But I have a lot of confidence in Deshaun Elliott. I think that Deshaun Elliott has potential to be one of the best safeties in the NFL. This is coming from a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Like, Deshaun Elliott was one of my favorite players when he was coming out of the draft a couple of years back. So, if he's able to stay healthy, I think he could be a stud for the Ravens. And, he has had some really good training camps and really good preseasons with the Ravens over the last 2 seasons. The only reason why we haven't really got to see a glimpse of that in the regular season is because he always ends up getting injured. So, Earl Thomas has just got released by the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think it's going to be too long until Earl Thomas gets picked up by somebody else. And like I said, I think that it's more to the story than what we know. I think it's some more behind the scenes stuff that went on with Earl Thomas and the Ravens, because you just don't release a guy who you just got not too long ago, like last off season free agency, and you're paying him that kind of money, like a 4-year deal worth a lot of money. So you just don't release a guy like that, and a guy who was like a veteran presence in your locker room, if it wasn't some more things that went on behind the scenes. So maybe it was some more incidents that happened with Earl Thomas and some other teammates as well. But you just don't release a guy like that, and especially in a timely manner that the Baltimore Ravens did, without some more incidents that went on. So it's really weird. You don't really see teams, have these players signed to long-term deals like that and just release them after training camp like that, unless they just have a poor performance. So I think it's some more things that went on with Earl Thomas in the Ravens organization. And this has been a pretty interesting offseason for Earl Thomas, to say the least, because he had the whole incident with his baby mama, or like whatever, almost blowed his brains out because he was cheating on her and things like that with his brother. Then you got this whole Chuck Clark fight that went on. So I mean, I just think that it is a lot that has kind of transpired for Earl Thomas and the Baltimore Ravens. But I don't think it's going to be too long until we see Earl Thomas end up signing with another team. It's reportedly between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, which were the two teams that are pretty much in the market for Earl Thomas when he was a free agent a few year back or so. So, I mean, I think he's probably going to end up signing with the Dallas Cowboys. They were the favorites to sign Earl Thomas, or maybe he could go to the 49ers as well. I really like him with the 49ers with what they have set in place, with how good their defensive line is, how good their cornerbacks are. So, I really like him to go to the 49ers. I think that would be a really good fit, especially with the fact that Seattle just traded for Jamal Adams, so maybe that's the 49ers way of countering things. So really interesting how things have transpired in Baltimore concerning Earl Thomas. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. I mean, this is really interesting, man. So Earl Thomas has been released by the Baltimore Ravens.